Welcome back, motherfuckers!
Well, it's been a couple days, huh?
Yeah, just a few. Welcome back to Radical Rascals. I'm Nick.
I'm Sean.
And today, after our long-awaited, our long dealt with hiatus, we're
Sabbatical.
We're back, everybody. By everybody, I mean our 15 subs. We should actually check. We should have checked on them before we recorded because I really wanted to see. So today we wanted to talk about. It's going to be more philosophical than political. We wanted to talk about morality and specifically like good people. You know, what makes a person good? Different definitions of good. You know, maybe touch on some like cultural markers of like what influences what a good person is to different people. And as always, we are entirely uneducated on the subject and are going to be going entirely off of gut feelings. Mm-hmm. So that's nice. But before we get into that, this episode is actually sponsored by by NordVPN. NordVPN. No, I just wanted to catch up in the past couple months. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been doing a documentary. 2 documentaries.
Do you not want to talk about them? Is that why you looked at me like that?
Yeah, let's just start, bro.
Okay, I don't know. I mean...
Nobody gives... It sounds like the people don't know I haven't been working.
Yeah, I know, but... I don't know. You gotta remember, this is also, like, future for us, you know? And what if it gets to a point 20 years from now where, like, the fuck is there, like, months between this?
Yeah,
you know?
So for the last 4 months I was in Kosovo filming 2 documentaries. I just got back a couple days ago. Now we're doing this.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And for the past 4 months, I have done nothing new. I have worked.
No, you applied for school.
I did. I applied for Valencia Community College over here. And I got accepted, which is super cool. So yeah, I'm gonna be starting that. Sean's gonna go get his master's, but like same thing basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I got dumped, and that shit sucked. So we're gonna be talking about that today. You know what? Fuck morality. That's what we're.
This dude turns it into a fucking diary.
Yeah. You broke my heart. Just fucking cry for the next hour. Oh shit. No, it's okay. She'll never listen to this. She never listened to the first episode. She got like 20 minutes in and said, alright, I'm good. So, yeah. Alright, sorry.
How did this conversation come about?
This conversation came about on the off chance that D'Angelo is listening. This conversation came about because I was having, I want to say a discussion, but it was more of an argument with my friend D'Angelo, or our friend D'Angelo. Because he said he was a good person, and I told him he wasn't a good person, and he got upset, and I think
rightfully so. Proceed.
I think it's because a lot of people have different opinions on what a good person is, and a lot of people strive to be good people, or at least they tell themselves they strive to be good people. I guess I've been a little cynical about it, but ultimately, I think that there are more than just good or bad people. I think there's a significant amount of people that live between good and bad. You know, I think that, you know, that someone can try to be good and just kind of fuck up a lot. Someone can, you know, commit a lot of crimes, but, you know, try to put out as much good or benefit to humanity as they can. But yeah, I think it's just incredibly nuanced, and ultimately, I think that people water down what it means to be a good person to fit their lives and their lifestyles. You know, I think that instead of molding themselves to be good, they mold what they believe to be good to fit them.
So when you say, for example, D'Angelo is not a good person, you clarify that you don't mean D'Angelo is a bad person.
You're right. No. I don't. And that's what I'm saying is like, and I tried telling him, I was like, I don't think you're a bad person. You know, I think you probably ride the line to decency that a lot of us ride. You know, I don't consider myself a good person. I don't consider you a good person. But like, it's not to say that I think. I mean, it's similar to whenever I say like I don't like someone. It doesn't mean I dislike them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like there's some people I meet where I just have neutral feelings. You know, and I don't like them, but I also don't dislike them. You know, I feel the same way about
morality.
About morality. Yeah, I think it's incredibly complicated and nuanced, and I think that a lot of that gets stripped away. So yeah, no, I don't think that he's a bad person.
Okay, so.
But we gotta bite this in the butt early on, though. We can't spend the whole thing talking specifically about my conversation with him, because it'll feel like I'm just attacking him. Like the rest of this is gonna be about the broader topics.
Right. So for example, would you tell Mojo, if Mojo's listening, Mojo's not a good person?
Yeah, probably.
Austin is not a good person.
Yeah, probably.
Sab.
Definitely Sab. I will eat that shit easily. Sab is a fucking asshole.
Okay. No, I'm just asking you not to put it,
No, I mean I don't take it lightly. I mean, I feel like to consider someone a good person, I would have to actually like deliberate. You know, like even the other day, you ended up asking me like, do I think your parents are good people? And no, I think that no. No, I think they are, you know, and I think that's whenever we were talking the other day, and it came down to like what I think a good person is, and ultimately I think it's someone who, first off, I think being a good person is like an innate quality, you know. It's just like when someone is a good person, that's because it's just who they are, not like something that they necessarily strive towards, you know. Well, I guess they kind of I don't know, but like as an effect of that being who they are, you know. It's just like that's just a quality deep within them, you know. And one of the main examples I was giving is someone's knee-jerk reaction being to help people or to put good out into the world. I think that these are like kind of the qualities of what I believe to be a good person.
So am I wrong in assuming that the sort of gold standard for what makes a person a good person is the fact that their knee-jerk reaction is to help a stranger or even somebody they know? Is that what to you makes somebody a good person?
I believe that's a quality of it. I don't think it's just that, but I do think that is.
So if somebody lacks that quality, can they be a good person?
See, and this is where the nuance comes in, because I think it would be really difficult for me to define someone as a good person if they don't actively try to help people, you know? Because I feel like, how are you a good person if you're not going out and helping anybody? If you're not trying to, if you're not trying to better the world, if you're not trying to spread good, you know, love, compassion, forgiveness, you know, all these good qualities.
Yeah, so, but like, we're kind of repeating the conversation we had on the phone for the purpose of the podcast, but like, how is, you know, helping reacting on this knee-jerk reaction of helping somebody, let's say, that you see on the street that's in need of some help, how is that, for example, related to other qualities like forgiveness or justice, or you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, I don't think that those are necessarily related. I mean, I think you can want to help people on the street and kind of also be a bitter asshole, you know. So I don't think that they're necessarily intertwined. Yeah, like I said, it's just I have this like this outline of a good person, and I think it takes more than just a single aspect, you know. Like for instance, those good qualities that you just described, you know, like compassion and forgiveness and justice and all of that can be found a lot within Christianity, but I don't think Christianity is filled with necessarily good people. I think there are plenty of people within Christianity that I would not consider good people, because they talk a good talk but don't walk a good walk, you know. I think it's more than just feelings, just like I think it's more than just actions.
So it's a combination.
Yeah, I would say it's a combination.
I mean, just the material reality of things, of life here in the U.S., there are some people that just have less. The material conditions, for example, you know, they might not have access to money, time, you know, what I'm trying to say is, maybe their knee-jerk reaction is to help, but because of their circumstances, socioeconomic circumstances, it is not in their own benefit to help them. And I don't mean benefit like physical socioeconomic benefit, but it is not in their for their own survival, or you know what I'm saying. It's not in their benefit. And again,
so I guess the question comes down to like, could homeless people or poor people or people in third world, people who don't have much to offer, can they be good people?
right.
No, I'm kidding. No, because I can't say no to that, because I think it's proportionate to what you're capable of doing. And we did talk about this the other day. You know, I wouldn't expect, like some girl who's read all her life and knows nothing about cars to stop and help someone try to fix their car. She doesn't know shit about it, you know? So I wouldn't expect a poor person with no food to eat to go out and feed other people. You know, so I guess the bar would be set kind of lower in terms of action.
Based on what you have, based on your
capabilities. You know, I mean, even if you don't have much, let's say you're broke or you're homeless or both, and but you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to, and it's probably going to keep coming back to the example of a car broken down. You know, you used to be a mechanic for like 30 years. You know, you know how to fix cars. You know, then I think if someone saw that, I think a good person would try to go over and help them. You know, might not benefit them, but
so why do you not consider yourself a good person?
That's because of the other quality of being a good person. You can't acknowledge being a good person. I mean, at least for the higher levels of being a good person, because I mean, I think we agreed that we can probably break down good and bad into like levels. You know,
right,
I don't think someone who gives a homeless man a sandwich and someone who ends world hunger can both just be like, so I think that we can say that there's some levels to it.
Right.
The exact number, I don't know. We'd have to start quantifying, writing shit down, and making this into a science experiment, which takes away the philosophy aspect. But
I asked this question. Obviously, it's rooted in some sort of ego. We can't escape the ego.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, obviously, I think it's ridiculous to go around saying, I'm a good person, but I don't think it's wrong to defend yourself when somebody, in the case of D'Angelo, when you tell D'Angelo, I don't think you're a good person, I don't think D'Angelo is in the wrong for defending himself, for saying, regardless of whether he is a good person or not, that's outside of the question. But I don't think, for example, if you tell your roommate or something, that like, hey, you're not a good person, and you're speaking from a place of philosophy, from a sort of intellectual conversation of what it means, and it's actually coming from in my opinion, a good place, because I do believe that what it means to be good has been watered down. Like, it seems as if everybody's good these days. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a good person, and
it's
I
like
hate
the word
that.
hero.
Exactly.
When people want to throw it around a lot, and it's like, so everyone's a hero.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everyone's a hero in their own right.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So I do agree, and this is why we're having the conversation, because people like to, talk, oh, he's such a good person, or if they're talking about themselves, which is ridiculous, but in general they're talking about somebody else, and you're like, wait, I know that guy. There's nothing special.
Shit,
Like,
so I know he volunteers at a soup kitchen, but he also cheats on his girlfriend all the time.
Exactly. So it's like, when I ask this question of why do you think you're not a good person, I'm not telling you, Nick, go out and say you're a good person, but I'm asking you to defend yourself in a way.
Why do I think I'm not a good person? Aside from the point I made about, like, I feel like you kind of negate the ability to be a good person whenever you're like, I don't know, like I use the example of hero, not just now, but when we were talking, like, if someone was going around calling themselves a hero, You know, you're not really here. That's something that someone else has to like bestow upon you. You know,
Yeah,
but why do I think I'm not a good person?
Right.
I don't know. I think I'm incredibly selfish. I think that I do a lot of things for my own benefit. You know, I think that yeah, I would do bad things to get what I want in certain circumstances. So yeah, no, I think I would forego, like, I would choose something bad if it meant getting what I want, but in certain circumstances. I'm not saying like I'd be an ultimate fucking sellout, but you know, like I don't know. I really I don't know outside of.
I mean,
these,
that
like,
last thing was a sort of hypothetical, so I think we disregard it. I mean, a lot of people would say that, but in terms of selfishness and what's the other thing you said?
How many leftists around whenever they're offered like $10 million?
Right.
You know, it's like,
Right.
yo, $10 million, but you got to change your political ideology. It's like, fuck that, then give me that.
Right, exactly. So it's like,
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think ultimately it's because I'm not where I want to be yet. So like I feel weird wanting or being able to like say that. I mean, because it's similar to like how I don't think I'm a man yet, and it's because like I have really high standards for it, and I think the second that I admit, like, I think that I am a man, that I have to uphold a lot of these like virtues that I know that I should, but I don't have the strength to do so yet. And I think it's the same with being a good person. Being a good person means that like I would have to actively like that would have to just be an intrinsic part of who I am, and I still think that I have too much, like, I guess just overall negativity that within myself that I would want to get rid of well before I could even begin to call myself a good person. I would say at the very least I'm a decent person. I can say that, and I strive to be better every day. That's the most I can say about myself, though. I mean, because like another part of it, you got to be honest too. Like, there's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself, but. And yourself?
No, you're wrong, but
about which part? Fuck.
I mean, I think. No, I was joking when I said you're wrong. Like
I was gonna say. I was like, oh, okay.
I mean,
cool.
I disagree, but you're not like wrong.
Okay. All right, guys, that's the podcast. Never mind. Sean's right. I'm wrong.
That's it.
I guess that's the debate.
No, I say you're wrong in the sense that I disagree. Like, one, I don't think you're decent. I think you're a good person. But like we said, there are levels of what it means to be a good person. You know, I don't think you're on the level of Muhammad Ali or Ted Bundy, but no.
Clear six. Clear six. Ali like a 5, maybe a low 6.
But no, I think you're a good person, you know. Especially if we're judging it based on, you know, this knee-jerk reaction to help people. I've been with you in a car multiple times, and you've wanted to help people, you know, and I didn't. I was, bro, we got shit to do. We gotta go. No, bro, let's help. And it's hot out, and you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, let's do what we gotta do. Let's finish it. You know, maybe they're calling. You know, I try always to make an excuse. Not always, but you know, how you give people water and all that extra shit, and you know.
To me, that's just like decency. I don't know, like that barely scratches the surface. I mean, I haven't materially benefited many people's lives in any significant way. I give people water, but that's because to me that's like base level decency. You know, if someone's thirsty, give them fucking water. If someone's hungry, give them food. Like, that's like the like literally. But
also least. Like what we talked about. You're not a fucking millionaire to be benefiting people financially. You know what I'm saying? You're not a millionaire, and you benefit some people. I'm sure you benefited some people intellectually. You benefited me. You've benefited other people. People listening. You know, you benefit people in different ways. So it's not just always in terms of money.
Matter of fact, if you're listening to this, write how I benefited your life in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this week's episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh man.
Sorry, I can't help like making mad jokes whenever. I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird being told what you're telling me right now. So like I said, I still feel. I guess I just always feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I can always do more. I can always do better. I can always strive for more. And I feel like it's almost like this insatiable hunger, you know. And once again, like I feel like that's one of the reasons why I refuse to like call myself good or say that I'm a man, is because like I haven't reached where I want to be yet. I haven't peaked yet.
I mean, that would mean that
I don't think people have to peak to be considered good people. Like that would be sad. Imagine people peaking in their 20s. Okay, so like more prescriptively, what am I saying?
Are you setting a certain standard for yourself, certain expectations for yourself that you don't put on other people just because it's you? Like, in order for me to be good, I have to do this. But he can just do this, and he'll be a good person.
No, I mean, going back, like I said, it's just like, okay. I guess at the higher levels, like I said, it's just an innate quality of like who you are. You know, like, have you ever met people where you just like you meet them and you just can tell like, wow, this is a good person. I don't know this person, but I know they would give me the shirt off their back. You know, and I can just tell it's not an act. You know, they don't do it to gain anything. That's just like a part of like who they are. You know, like that innate quality of goodness, I feel like it is required, at least for the higher levels. For the lower levels, you know, right above decency, I would say it's just striving to be better. You know, I guess that's something that I would put on everybody. Just try to do better. You know, don't be okay with what you're doing now. You know, I don't know. It gets complicated, man, because now I'm starting to think like, oh, but then that leads to like people feeling like they're never enough.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because I feel that way all the fucking time because I set the bar so high for myself that I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not even gonna try to jump. You know.
I mean, what got me interested in this conversation, what I think is the most important part of this conversation, is when you tell somebody, and I'm talking about like, it's when we can go through a list of people, and you'd say, oh, he's not a good person, and to me it's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, you know, like, and I'm just saying Mojo, for example. Mojo's probably listening to this, or Danny.
Yeah.
Or Austin.
Yeah. But Austin's Mormon. Like that automatically disqualifies him. Like, ooh,
can't be good and Mormon. But so I'm trying to think of it like that, you know. And Mojo would say the same thing, you know. It's like Mojo can give you a list of people that he knows and that you know as well, and you'd say, no, I just don't think he's a good person. And Mojo would be like, what the fuck? This guy's a really good person, you know?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean he's not good? He's good.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that by saying he understands what you mean by he's good. You're not saying that he's bad. He's just decent. Or he's,
right. Oh, you talked to Mojo about this already?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm just talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about this, for example. So, for example, if you say to Ginny, like, Ginny, I don't think you're a good person. And to me, it's like, what? But I know Junior's a good person. You know what I'm saying? And this is what makes the conversation interesting. It's forget the nuance, even though the nuance is significant. It's labeling people or not labeling them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is interesting. And we talked about how, and I don't know if you've came to the same conclusion where you think you might set the standard too high for what makes a good person good. We mentioned the levels, of course, but I think a lot of people are good people, and you think very few people are actually good people. You know what I'm saying? And because for me, what makes a good person is they don't have to be fucking perfect. They don't have to stop every time when they see somebody and help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in general, they should do better. You know, because to me, being a good person is not a knee-jerk reaction of helping people. Being a good person is, being good to your family. It's being good to yourself. It's being good to people around you. It's being good to the environment. It's a form of...
I mean, I did say that earlier. It's putting compassion, love, and goodness out into the world.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So...
Okay, we can call that the base level of good. Is if you put compassion, love, and goodness out into the world. Right. You know, because that's pretty broad, where that can be taken in many different forms. Whether you make art, or you talk to people, or you feed people, or whatever the case may be. You know, I think that's a pretty solid base level.
Right. You know? But my question too is, if that's what we're gonna talk the base level of what it means to be good, why then would you not consider all of these people good?
I guess it's because, like, I feel like once people see themselves as good people, they stop trying to be better.
But I'm not talking about what they see themselves as.
Right.
You know, because I agree with you when you say calling yourself good. I mean, there's so much ego in that.
By me calling you good, I mean, you're sitting there and thinking that you're a good person. I mean, that's why I'm saying, you know, then you start telling yourself that. And I just feel like when people start accepting that as the reality, they stop trying to get better. You know, so then it ends up in the long run kind of robbing them of whatever qualities were beginning to make them a good person. Yeah.
I mean, I could... I would see that more, not for good, but more like, oh, he's smart, he's a genius.
Yeah, I mean, that too. But I mean, once again, like, these are all qualities that just of a person.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how goodness works. I think that's how maybe something else works. Like, I don't know, like maybe he's smart, like somebody who... Or he's mad good at basketball. But when it comes to goodness, you're not good because it's cool to be good, or like you do it for
some people are.
Yeah. Some people, of course. But genuine people who are genuinely good, they do it because they want to do it and they feel natural doing it, and that's their instinct to do it.
And there it is. That's my general point about what a good person is. Everything you just said. Okay, it's their innate quality. That's just like who they are.
Right. You know? So, and I think same point stands. I mean, we got better definitions now, but same point stands. I think a lot of these people have innate qualities. Forget the people we mentioned, but I think genuine people that we could just throw out there, or we can say that I personally think that they're good people, because I think that their just innate quality is to help people to be good, you know, to spread positivity. And, you know, but obviously there are some people that are not genuine in their goodness. They do it, you know, to post a picture on Instagram and show like, hey, yo, I helped this guy, I gave him money, you know, or there are plenty of people like that, you know.
Performative.
Performative. But I think there are a lot of people that are just, you know, genuinely good people. But I think a lot of them at times don't have that knee-jerk reaction to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, it's just like what do we talk about? Some people are introverts. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just shy. They don't want to. They feel bad for the person that's stuck on the side of the road, but you know, they don't want to get in contact with them. They've had a hard day at work. You know what I'm saying? They got other shit on their mind. They're stressed. They have their own problems. Why stop on the road? You know, I feel bad for them. You know, I might be thinking about it for a couple hours, but then the next day he might go out and fucking, who knows, feed somebody or save animals or you know, help or teach a fucking class of old people something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just throwing out a lot of hypotheticals, because when we talk about morality, it's filled with hypotheticals.
It is. I feel like those hypotheticals are real are a little unrealistic, but I don't know. I feel like once again that's just getting into like details with while ignoring like the broader point you're trying to make, which is not everyone can do everything, and people have different ways of expressing goodness and putting goodness out. And that's why I was saying the base level of goodness I can accept is putting good out into the world, and everyone has their own way of doing it. Let's say there's a girl who is incredibly introverted, doesn't really like talking to people, but helps manage a soup kitchen or something, or gathers money from all of her friends to make like little care packages to hand out to homeless people, or spreads awareness, or I don't know, whatever the fuck the case may be.
Right.
I think I'd still be fine with calling her a good person. I think acknowledging levels of goodness helps it make a little more sense. I think a bigger question that I was thinking while you were talking is like, who the fuck am I to determine what is good anyway?
Right. I mean, that's so. Yeah. I mean, that's
like. I mean, it's a little more like meta to think about, but I don't know. It's just like. It's just weird. It's weird because like it's almost like some level of narcissism to think that I'm even capable of like determining if someone is or is not a good person. I mean, I guess it's an opinion, but still.
Yes.
A little arrogant.
No, I mean when we're talking about this, we're talking more, like you said in the beginning, it's philosophical. I mean, it's subjective, totally subjective. Who the fuck cares what you think? Who the fuck cares what I think?
That's true.
But if we're talking in general, we could establish some sort of ground, some sort of framework for what it means to be a good person, and it wouldn't be irrelevant because you're a person, I'm a person, and we're a product of this environment. So I don't think there's anything wrong with creating some sort of standard of what makes a person a good person. I think we've already made it clear that most people fall in decent.
Yeah.
Some people are just genuinely bad because they're
some people are just fucking assholes.
Some people are assholes, but then again, that's one thing you mentioned is that we don't focus enough on the bad. Because we can mention that right now. I mean, why are those people bad? They're not like born bad. Mm. You know what I'm saying? They might be bad because of their socioeconomic status. It forces them to be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, feels a little reductionist. I think some people really are just. I don't know if it's genetics or what. I don't know if it's mental illness. I don't know where it would come from, but I do know that some people are just born like with a fucking screw loose, man. They're just born and they just want people to hurt. I mean, I think generally speaking, what you're saying is right. If we're equating like badness with like committing crimes, then yeah, absolutely. But I mean,
can you be a good person and own a Lamborghini?
Can you be a good person and own a Lamborghini? I want to say no for very obvious reasons, but unfortunately, based on the criteria that we've laid out, yeah, you can be. You can own a Lamborghini while also putting good out into the world. I mean, you said earlier that part of being good is being good to yourself. You said being good to your family, yourself, your loved ones, those around you.
But I was talking more like
taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself and not buying $1 million car.
Right. I mean,
so I'm trying. This question is more like because of our political leanings.
Right.
What would you say about that?
Like, can a good person exist if they have a Lamborghini? Yeah. Yeah, at the very least on the lower levels, I definitely think that that part of being a good person is striving to be a better person. So I think that would have to be temporary. I don't think you could maintain that the whole time, because at some point you would have to recognize that like your need for these luxury items is actively harming people you've never even met. But I think like I said, on the lower levels, yeah, absolutely. Because it's all about growth. I mean, what if that person with a Lamborghini was like a fucking rich douchebag, but then met a really cool, the homeless person who, like, they sat down, had a conversation. The guy realized, oh fuck, me and this homeless person really don't have, we have a lot more in common than I thought. Like holy shit, these people are people, and like I'm over here, like I think it's a process, and I think it's more about like momentum and direction than it is about current standing. That person might have been an asshole, but like if they've moved away, if they downsized in their life, they're trying to put good out into the world and use all of their material wealth to materially benefit those of lower means, then I think that would be a good person, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I'm stuck thinking on what you said, how part of being a good person is the recognizing the need to be better.
Yeah.
I think
I think all of us can get better, man. And like I said, going back to the original point, I just get worried that some people get complacent. They're like, well, I'm good, that's it. And I think a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, I think you're right. Maybe I'm being a little cynical and assuming that a lot of people would do that, especially if they're good people. But I think it would be ignorant to not realize that there would be a chunk of people who, as soon as they're recognized as good people, would just kind of like stop there. I mean, that's ultimately where fucking liberals come from. It's just like, well, I'm a good person because I want change. And it's like, well, what change do you want? What change are you actually actively trying to bring about in the world? And it's like, well, no, I want the change. Like when it happens, I'm not going to stop it. And it's like, but you can't stop there. You have to work towards something better, because if not, you're not much different.
Well, no, that's a genius point, because liberals think they've evolved. They're at the peak of evolution of what it means to be a good person. Yeah. I'm a liberal. I'm a good person. Are you seriously trying to talk to me about what's good?
It's like, I want Medicare for all. It's like, well, have you tried to like participate in some sort of local elections or some sort of campaigning on a local level to try to benefit areas that you actually live in? Yeah, Medicare for all is nice. That's gonna kind of happen on its own. I mean, it's not gonna happen now. You're not gonna do anything to make that happen. I'm not saying forget about it, and I'm not saying like you shouldn't think about it or want it. I'm saying, in the meantime, if you're not doing anything, all you've done is nothing.
Right.
And all right, I've got to say because I haven't done anything. I mean, this podcast is the most political activity I've ever been a part of. Like at least you've made fucking documentaries, but
that's not political. I mean, I wouldn't say that's shit. I
mean, probably not. But I mean, at least you're going, like, you have a solid political plan. Like, you're about to get your master's degree in poli-sci. I know it's not like in poli-sci. I know it's specifically in like what would you say, area studies or like Russia and Eastern Europe with like a focus on the Balkans and whatever very niche, very specific degree. Like the point is like you like. I told you the other day, it's like everyone has their role to play. Right. I decided my role is to be a teacher and to focus on education. Right. That's my biggest thing, because from there I feel I can branch out and do everything else. But yeah, and I don't think that someone whose focus is cooking and opening soup kitchens should worry about education.
Right.
I think that's my job to worry about education, and that way things can actually get done. Yeah. Unfortunately, it does require me to be politically active on a local level at some point, because I got to pass things, especially in Seminole County. But that's getting beside the point.
Sorry, that was my cat.
Can you imagine? Your cat comes up, burps on the mic, and just rolls over and licks herself.
So we're at 39 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we've covered quite a bit.
You want to call it here?
No, I don't want to call it.
I was about to say,
we can push it another, 20 minutes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say an hour. I was like, bro, I don't have an hour.
But if there's another topic, or if there's something else you want to say.
I don't know. I kind of like this, the tail end of this topic. Talking about more political activity and tying morality into politics. I mean, ultimately that's kind of what's supposed to shape our politics anyway, isn't it? Like our moral compass.
Yeah.
Which, for the record, I don't believe in societal morality. I think it's kind of bullshit. I think everyone has their own set of principles that they like to abide by, and it's. I always like to say, like, morality depends on what side of the gun you're on. You know, it's like everyone thinks that they're right.
Right.
You know, everyone thinks that they're the good guy and everyone else is the bad guy. And I think that's why it's so important to maintain that a lot of people are in the same gray area. It's like people think that they have some weird moral standings over other people, which I guess that is kind of how this started, is because I feel like I have some sort of weird moral standing over other people who think that they're good people. Yeah. But I don't know. At the end of the day, we're all fallible.
Not me, though. So
like, oh no, I'm a communist. No. You don't understand. That's funny though. Dude, I hate that. I hate seeing leftists online who think that they're good people, and I'm like, like really? Like right now, there's a lot of drama that's been unfolding, especially over the past few months, between just leftist content creators, and I'm like, you guys are just wasting time and effort and resources caring about petty high school type drama. Not to mention, you guys are like 30. It's weird. It's kind of cringy, dude. Like, just fucking relax. Oh man.
So, COVID vaccines?
It's not even a seamless transition. Like, oh yeah, morality. I mean, I know you don't believe in societal morality, but what about people's like moral obligations to society? Like that would have been a better transition. But all right, cool. This guy, am I right? Yeah, Dreeny's in the room with us. Anyway,
Funyuns.
Yeah, the vaccine. What about it?
You were telling me about that guy.
Oh, you did want me to bring this. Oh, okay, true. Oh, fuck, yeah. It feels weird talking about it because, like, it wasn't even just. It was a bad transition. So I was talking to this guy the other day. We were talking about vaccines. I guess he works at a doctor's office. I'll say his name is John. So I was talking to John, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I work at a doctor's office." And I was like, "Oh, word, that's cool." And the whole thing came about because he came over to my place. He was a friend of my roommate. So he came over to my place and comes inside. My roommate's like, "Yo, this is my friend John." And I was like, "All right, nice to meet you, man." And he tried to dap me up, and I was like, "Oh, no, keep your space. I might have COVID because my mom has recently gotten COVID, and I had been I've seen her. Why the fuck can't I? All right." So he was like, "Oh." He's like, "Oh, wait. It's cool. I have the vaccine. Do you not?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you're gonna die." I was like, all right. I was like, all right. I mean, I guess we're getting into this now. It was literally like that too. He just told me I was gonna die, and I was like, I just laughed. I was like, "Damn, dude, that's kind of intense to tell someone you just met." He's like, "Yeah, my bad. I just I work at a doctor's office. I see a lot of people who that looks like Thomas Shelby." I see a lot of people who have come in and they don't want to get the vaccine because they hear all this nonsense about it and they end up dying of COVID. But they're super like out of shape and stuff, so not sure a vaccine would help much anyway. And I was like, all right, yeah, cool. So he's like, yeah, why haven't you gotten it? And I was like, well, I mean, honestly, I just haven't done much research into it. You know, I haven't looked it up. I haven't seen, I haven't read any of the studies about it or done my own research. I only hear other people's opinions, and I really don't want to make a decision based on that. I also just kind of feel like the people who need it should get it first. I feel like it's I don't need it, so I don't feel like I'm really in a rush. Most of the people around me have it. I don't interact with many people nowadays anyway. So yeah, so we just started talking about it, and he's like, yeah, dude, I think everyone should get the vaccine. It's dumb, like, people need to take the vaccine. This is just how vaccines work. And I was like, yeah, no, That makes sense. I don't remember all the good points I told you that he made, but he made good, just general sense points. Like
Just mention how you shitted on him.
all right. I mean, I wouldn't say shitted on him. Just wipe my ass with his argument. His argument was just dumb because all right. So my biggest issue was that because he was like, oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a Republican or a Democrat. I'm like, what's that third part? It's like, oh, you're a libertarian. He's like, yeah, I'm a libertarian. I was like, okay, dude. I was telling Sean earlier. I was like, libertarians, like 2021 libertarians are just fucking 2015 Republicans. That's it. It's just like pre-Trump Republicans have now all become libertarians because they think that there's like, it's like they always thought there was like two parties and then they discovered a third one and they're like, all right, yeah, this is us now. So like it's literally it. It's so fucking funny. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I'm a libertarian, and I was like, oh, okay. And so he's going on about the virus, and he's like, yeah, I think everyone should get it, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, that you know what I really think about the virus though? I was like, what? He's like, I think it was a biological weapon created by China. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was trying not to laugh, and I was smirking, and he saw me smirking. He's like, oh, you probably think I'm crazy, don't you? I was like, nah, man, no. I was like, look, I've heard this before. I was like, what makes you think that though? And he's like, it just makes sense, whenever you look at all the things, like the timing with the election. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, they wanted to get no, stay. They wanted to get someone new into office. They wanted to get Biden into office, and I was like, okay, but why? Like, what does China benefit from that? He's like, what do you mean, man? He's like, because with Biden in office, I think he was talking about like what the fuck? He was all over the place, so it's difficult for me to remember exactly how it went. But he said something along the lines of like America being divided. He's like, have you not noticed like how divided we are? And he started going on a tangent about that without actually answering the question. I was like, okay. And then he was like, yeah, and have you noticed how weird the virus is? Like, it doesn't hurt kids or women. And what are the rules of warfare? No kids, no women. I was like, well, isn't one of the rules of warfare no biological weapons? And he was like, yeah, but they don't follow the rules anyway. And I was like, so then why would they follow that rule? I was like, that's kind of like ordering a Big Mac with a Diet Coke, don't you think? He's like, I don't get it. I was like, exactly, it makes no sense. Like, if you're going to get a Big Mac, why the fuck are you going to get a Diet Coke? That's stupid. You're already down the rabbit hole, you might as well. If you're going to make a biological weapon and unleash it on the masses with unforeseen consequences, then why draw the line at women and children, especially if it's of the enemy? They're not really going to give a fuck.
And then he said, flu killed more people than corona.
Yeah.
And then what you said?
Do you love this too much? I fucking love this too much. So he brought that point up because a lot of people love bringing that point up. Man, this virus isn't even that dangerous. Like it's definitely blown out of proportion to like sow dissent. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, dude, the flu has killed more people than COVID has. And I was like, is that true? He's like, yeah, I've seen all the numbers. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so then why would that be a biological weapon created by China if like even something as small and as simple as like the flu is more deadly? It seems like a failure of a biological weapon, don't you think? Okay. Yo, you love that too much. Someone's gonna poke a hole in that argument one day and you're gonna be like, oh shit. Yeah, they're gonna be like, well, no, it was more about like sowing political dissent between the parties and the people, than it was about actual deaths, because they're not evil and they don't want to kill people. And then you're just gonna be like, Nick, what's the counter?
Nick, say something.
No, but in all honesty, this dude couldn't answer it, so instead of answering it, he was just like bringing up random points that we weren't talking about. Once again, like I'm not trying to be vague about this. It's just he was kind of all over the place. Mind you, he was a little drunk at this point. It was like 11 o'clock, and I was a little high, but
no, but that's the general talking point. Is that this is not that serious, and that the flu is way deadlier. Yeah. But then at the same time, this idea is always complemented by the fact that it's a Chinese conspiracy to whatever to destroy the West or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like
to
they
kill
don't
people.
go together.
They
like,
don't.
You
They
can't
don't.
have both of these conspiracies. You can't believe in both of them.
Yeah.
It should be either one or the other.
Right. But I mean, that's why I'm saying libertarians are just.
Yeah, but
they're literally just.
No, I've never heard anybody debunk that.
Really?
Never.
Oh.
That's why I'm fucking blown away by it, because it's like those are the two main things you hear about.
They are.
The COVID from the right wing circles, from fascists,
Yeah.
from
It's
right-wing
dangerous,
circles.
but at the same time, it's not that dangerous.
Exactly. So which is it, one or the other? And I don't think anybody has poked a hole like that. So I'm gonna actually write a tweet about this and get thousands of retweets and claim all
You
credit.
have to lean in when you said thousands. I'm gonna get thousands. Dude, one day in the future, we're not gonna be friends, and I'm gonna be sitting in my bed, like in my empire, like I just like under the sheets, listening to this and listening to us laugh together, and just be like, I miss the good old days.
Dude said empire.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck.
I'm gonna end up selling out and creating.
You're the last person that would sell out.
Bro,
You
I would
not
laugh.
sell out before you.
Nah, dude, I told you. You ever sell, and now it's on record. You ever sell out, I'm killing you. This is gonna be in the evidence too. Like, I'm sitting in the courtroom right now, and I'm gonna be like, oh, that's not me. And I'm telling you right now, I am me. Just fucking up my own court case. Yo, shut the fuck up, past Nick. I'm sorry, future Nick, but did the crime, you gotta do the time. No, but yeah, no, it's just a really dumb fucking argument, and I was just like laughing because it never makes sense. Like, I mean, I always try to point out because people are like, oh yeah, I think it's like the microchip theory. Have you heard that one where it's like, oh, they're trying to give you the virus and inject you with a microchip? I'm like, but why? So that they can track you, duh.
Yeah, that's just the most absurd.
Yeah, and I'm like, but you have a phone,
Right.
and it's like you track yourself.
Right.
It's like,
The minute you're
look on
born.
social media.
Right.
Like, everyone posts pictures,
Right.
you know, like everywhere. Like, everyone tracks themselves constantly. I was like, why would you do that?
Right.
Yeah, why would they invest billions, maybe trillions of dollars into technology that we don't have, like, commercially available to do this? It's just dumb. Like, there's no thought that goes into any of this. My mom even came up to me one day. I'll throw her ass under the bus because it was a dumb point. She came up to me the other day and was like, oh, I had this thought that what if this virus this vaccine is a way for them to inject you with a chip? And I was like, yes, I've heard that theory before. She's like, no, it's not a theory. Like, I literally just thought that on my own. I was like, you're not the only one. I was like, I've literally heard that theory hundreds of times.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
it's
heard it in
stupid.
Kosovo, so.
It's so dumb. I'm like, bro, it's so dumb. It doesn't make sense. It's like they have no concept of like how like that things actually need to like work.
Right.
That there needs like you don't. It's not just because you think like, oh, that would be a cool supervillain plan. You know, it's like people watch too much fucking TV.
Right.
Like, for instance, like going back to the whole conservatives have like these like conflicting ideologies or like beliefs. They'll say things along the lines of like the election was rigged, right? They'll be like, oh hey, which for the record, I mean, I don't think we'll be like snagged by the net on YouTube. It wasn't. It just fucking wasn't. But they'll say stuff like that, and then they'll say that, but then they'll also hold the belief that like our government is like a waste of money, that they can't do anything. You know, it's like, oh my god, they're fucking fail. You know, it's like they talk about the inefficiency of government and how we don't need as much government. We need less government. It's like, so you think that our government is incapable of doing its job, yet you think that it's capable of the largest voting conspiracy known to man. That's just not. That's dumb.
And it goes the other way too, right? It's like if you want less government, holding these elections, getting the votes, making sure it's as precise as possible would mean more government. You know, more.
Oh, like we would need more government to accomplish.
Right. Right. So
True.
it goes the
yeah.
other way, you know.
Yeah, dude, it makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense.
You could fucking write literally a book on the contradiction, and you've mentioned this from the very beginning that you want to do an episode on the contradictions.
I would love to. There's so many. Yeah. Like, and I genuinely mean, there's so many contradictions within, like, conservative beliefs that, like, within a week of saying that the very first time, I noticed that I couldn't do it. There's just it's.
But bro,
it's too much.
I'm telling you right now, like, I guess from an academic perspective, like, I've studied the ideologies and I've read about the contradictions. Yeah. But the ones you think of, I've never read about.
Yeah.
Shit, I've never read about.
Built different, baby.
Like, you already know the main ones, the larger ones, but there are small ones that are often overlooked, especially within right-wing conspiracies, which are part of the ideologies. So I'm telling you, bro, when you think of them shits, write them down, bro, because nobody's talking about this shit. And I'm telling you, as somebody who is very involved with literally the study of ideologies. I don't know what the fucking word for the study of ideologies is, but yeah, what you're
fuck would that be? Ideologyology,
right? But what you're saying, what the shit you've said, like, yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, they're absurd.
Yeah, it's just, and the thing is, and I always try to tell people, I'm like, look, I am so open to conspiracy theories. Right. I'm so open to different beliefs and different ideologies of all kinds, no matter how ridiculous they are. I'm surprisingly open to them. Right. But they gotta make sense. They gotta come from somewhere. Right. And the problem is that a lot of them fucking come from nowhere.
Right.
You know, like, I was on the phone with Gennario earlier whenever... it's whenever he said that me and you are disgraces to America, and I was like, no, you are. And then he was like, you know what? He's like, just wait until grandma comes over. Because my grandma's like super hardcore, like, Trump Republican. And I was like, I don't give a shit about my grandma. I was like, dude, you can have mama, grandma, and you on one side, and I'll still body all three of you easily. I was like, and he's like, yeah, but then I'll just fuck you up. And I was like, but that's not how politics works. That's the thing. You can't fight your way out of this. You know, it's like, if you're wrong, you're just wrong. That's it. You know, I was like, I can easily take all three of you because none of the three of you have any aptitude towards politics whatsoever. It's like, it's just dumb. I tell my grandma, I'm like, I love you, but a little bit dumb, grandma. I don't call her dumb for the record because that's... I did tell her that I fought her in a dream once. I had this dream that I literally, like, punched her and suplexed her. And then I instantly picked her up and she was, like, crying. And I was like, I'm so sorry, grandma. But, like, low-key, you kind of deserved it. But I don't remember what she did. I just remember I fucked her up a little bit.
What you just said about another inconsistency is how like, for them now, Republicans are out there calling voter fraud and the elections are rigged, but they never once said anything about the previous elections and the electoral college and how it functions, and you know how the majority of the American population can elect a leader, but they don't say shit. Right. If even when that a leader loses, right? So, for example, Bush, Al Gore won the majority of the votes of the popular vote, but
he lost in the electoral college.
He lost the electoral college, and Bush won, and you never hear a sound about that, right? So that's another.
And funny enough, Florida was a swing vote, weren't we?
Right.
Florida's a wacky place. Yeah. No, but you're right. I think one of the funny things is whenever Trump won and liberals were crying, conservatives were laughing. They're like, oh my god, look at them fucking crying. Like, relax, it's just Trump as president. It's not that serious. Right. And then, like, coming up to the election, I remember because Maddie was, like, saying that. She was like, yeah, I mean, you know, whenever Biden won, she was like, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's not like conservatives are crying like liberals were. And I was like, yeah, they are. She's like, no, not really. And then, you know, fast forward like 2 fucking months, and I'm like,
storming the White House and shit.
Trump won! And I'm like, yo, chill.
He's
chill.
still posting like President Trump. He's still claiming to be.
Dude, I
president.
still see people with Trump 2020 signs in their yard, and every time I'm like, dude, someone's got to knock on the door and just be like, yo, I know you haven't been out of your house in a few months, dog, and I don't know how to break this to you, but it's not Trump's America anymore. Like, Janari said that the other day. He's like, it's Trump's America now, and I was like, it's literally not. It's like, by no metric is it Trump's America. Dude, the scariest part is the concept of an election in like 2.5 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work. I really get scared of the idea of a civil war, man. Like, I don't think. I think people are too pussy to really do it, but I don't think that they're too pussy to try, and that's the part that worries me, man. Like, everything that would come out of that, it would just be so bad. You know, because it's like, fuck, it's bad. It's funny, whenever I was talking to Janari the other day, we were talking about Trump, because he likes reading about Hitler and everything. So he was watching this new series on Netflix called How to Be a Tyrant or some shit like that, wherever it goes over. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So he was talking about Hitler and stuff, and I was explaining, I was like, all that stuff is true. I was like, one of the things about Hitler was that he was very charismatic. He was able to pull people in, by giving them someone to blame, and it's like, as we're talking about it, he was like, oh, fuck, Trump is a lot like Hitler, isn't he? I was like, yeah. I was like, that statement did not come from nowhere, man.
Right.
Like, it's unfortunately a very fair comparison.
Yeah, very fair.
I remember you made that comparison early on, and I laughed at you because I was like, that seems a little dramatic, don't you think? And then as I started learning more about politics, I was like, no, it's not. It's not at all. Because literally, like, given another term, it could have easily ended in some wild shit. He literally wanted to, like, ban Muslims from entering the country.
And he did for not all Muslims, but Muslims from 7 Muslim majority countries.
Yeah, because I think was it Giuliani or Chuck Schumer that he ran it by? I think it was Giuliani, right? Where he ran it by him like, yo, how can we go about legally banning Muslims from the country? And then he was like, oh, you can't. So he had to reword it to like ban people from Muslim majority countries. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think he had to include a couple countries on the list, like Cuba, North Korea. But yeah, dude. I mean, it feels good to be back, people. Just know that. Oh, also I'm pansexual. I should throw that one in there too, just in case all y'all motherfuckers is listening and you single, and you trying to get dick down. Shit, I'm slinging it both ways now. Always, fuck it. Sean's looking kind of cute right now.
All right, everybody. So
that's where we ended off. No, but yeah, dude, it's just been wacky. It's just, we live in really wacky times, and I hate that that's the word that has to get used. But fuck, it's weird. Oh, man.
So let's end it.
Oh, you actually wanted to end it off here?
Yeah, we're over an hour.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Shit, I feel like most of that was me talking.
So yeah, we'll see you again next time. I don't know
Closing
when.
statement?
So we'll see you again next now.
Yeah, because I have no clue when next time will be. Unless you wanted to shoot for next Monday, if you wanted to do another one before you left.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Hey, it's okay. Covering the mic.
So yeah, I mean, be a good person.
That's it. You're just gonna leave it? I mean, what he said. I mean, just at the very least, and I always tell people, like, fuck morality. At the very least, just the bare minimum, just be decent, And decency is just treating others the way you want to be treated, Also, put your fucking shopping cart back. All right, you took it out, put it back. Yeah.
Cartnarks here.
Yeah.
Or
Whip, skip,
is that his name? Cartnark?
Yeah, Cartnarks. Skip it. Hey there, Officer Sebastian here. Got a case of lazy bones, we see. Fucking hilarious, man. If you guys haven't seen Cartnarks, check it out. But yeah, no. Put your shopping carts back. Hold the door open for someone. You know, don't expect to thank you. I mean, odds are they won't say thank you. If they do, that's nice too. Just do little things for people that you would like to be done for you on a regular day. You know, like, and that doesn't mean, because I feel like some people just would rather change how they would want to be treated than change how they treat others. Does that make sense? They'd be like, oh, well, if that's the case, then I don't want anyone to do anything for me. That way I don't have to do anything for anyone. It's like, really?
Right.
Does it take, what, you hold the door for 5 seconds, you know, spend another 20 seconds putting your cart back, you know? You waste your time doing nothing anyway. I love doing that shit. You know, it's not that serious, man. Just try to be decent people. You know? You fucking dumbass. He's sticking paper in a fan, for the record, for anyone who's curious what that sound was. But yeah, no, just, it's not that hard. And be honest with yourself and recognize you can always do better.
Facts.
Allow yourself room to be human and make mistakes, and allow others the same courtesy. You know? Like I said earlier, it's more about the direction you're moving than about where you are. You know, it's just one step at a time. Take it easy on yourself, but don't give yourself too much room to bullshit yourself either.
Right.
You know? It's all about trying to maintain some sort of healthy balance in your life. And I think if people just shot towards the simple stuff, they would see other things fall in line pretty well.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And don't buy a Lamborghini. Thank you, everybody. Bye.